Hey, beautiful souls. Welcome back or welcome to The Hawk and I. My name is Lana Zelinsky and I work in the spirit dimensions. As always, in all my videos or on my live feeds, simply take what resonates and you're welcome to leave the rest right here. Happy Monday. It's good to see you all this morning. What a beautiful weekend I had. Absolutely glorious. So much time outside and just connecting to the earth and just kind of breathing. It was much, much needed. And well, I guess it's always needed. I'll take a break anytime. I surely will. Good to see you all coming in. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So I'm doing the energy update for the week. So this will hold us right through and over to Friday, and then Friday we'll do a tap back in and see how we're where we're all at, and then I'll do some more energy updates for the upcoming weekend. Hot and heavy. Hot and heavy. This is where we are starting our week this week is hot and heavy and feeling zapped. There is a zap, burnout, intensity that's kind of pushing through this week. It's going to be a good week to simply recharge the energetic body. So for those of you who are feeling zapped, it's a good time to really it's the energetic body to be able to take time and recharge and to cleanse our energy, to breathe, connect, and retreat. There's also a bit of a lonely vibration, so I'm curious how many of you are feeling a little bit alone, even though you're surrounded by so much love, you're surrounded by so much support. Are you feeling like this alone or this loneliness, or the desire to perhaps just spend some time alone to be able to kind of tap in? I was also feeling very much my solar plexus area, a lot of stomach stuff probably this week, a little bit as well. Trying to move through energy is trying to move through and being able to let go of what we're holding on to. There's also a huge, huge force of energy from our spirit guides this week about about taking time, encouraging us to listen to our inner self, to listen to our feelings, to tap into how we're feeling, to tap into those emotions, and to let them flow. So if you've been feeling kind of stuck or standstill this week, try moving through that flow. Try that letting that anxious or that concern or those worries or that overthinking, trying to let that flow a little bit is going to be extremely helpful. There's also a little bit of that combativeness energy within ourselves. So I'm just curious if you know, and you can let me know on Friday if you're not experiencing this yet, but are you fighting with yourself? Are you fighting with yourself with just kind of, or suppressing perhaps is another word that we can use, but there seems to be this combativeness from here to here, from here to here, head to heart. And, you know, spending some time in this heart space and just remembering that all things are temporary. There's just this being able to move through, it's all temporary, allowing it to flow through, and just kind of that, if you can find even 5 minutes just to kind of sit with yourself and just sit and feel and allow that. Just allow that energy to flow through. Hot and heavy emotions, feeling zapped, a little bit of burnout energetically, cleanse, connect, and breathe. Retreat in, just spending some time within. There are so many, you know, times where we just need to sit with ourselves and give ourselves our processors enough time to process, give ourselves enough time to perhaps have our temper tantrums, you know, allowing that combativeness within yourself to kind of flow and just allow what you're suppressing to kind of move, right? Sometimes we suppress energy or feelings or situations, we suppress them. It's going to be a week of movement. So it's going to be a week of movement. So just kind of remember that I said it. If it doesn't resonate with you, that's okay. You know, somebody here needs to hear it, but just allow yourself to retreat. I just need some time to breathe, to listen, listening to your higher self, listening to what you need, giving yourself what you need. Okay. I personally even took a look at my calendar after I did my channeling and I thought, okay, where in my schedule can I retreat a little bit, just even if it's for 10 minutes with a cup of tea, listening to the birds, or just sitting with myself and just being, just kind of connecting here to here, and just allowing that whatever needs to flow, whatever I'm holding on to have its that movement of energy. And watch out please for that zapped feeling this week. If you start to feel zapped, tired, or whatever, you know, like lower on energy, nurture that. Give yourself some extra rest, give yourself some extra TLC, do a little bit of intuitive eating, right? Especially that solar plex and that stomach area. Just kind of give yourself some time to allow what you're holding there to push through. All right, you guys, I'm going to scroll up here and grab some questions. It's good to see you all here this morning, by the way. Good morning. This is from B. I never ask for advice, but do my spirit guides have anything for me today? I reconnected with my twin flame and curious about what they have to say about that. I don't feel bad with reconnecting with with a twin flame. However, I do feel like repeat lessons that or lessons that you've learned in the past. I feel like it's like just keep them in your awareness as far as loving boundaries go, as far as being able to I don't want to use the word limit time, but just be aware of time, right? Just be aware of the energy there. I feel like it's like a rebuild. And when we're rebuilding things, it takes time. And it has a very rebuilding energy. So with this reconnect with your twin flame, either there's been some time or some distance or some stuff that you had to heal and move through. Go with this with some time and just keep in mind of just past lessons. I keep hearing that the past lessons taught you something here, so just kind of keep that in your awareness. And I'm really grateful that you felt comfortable to ask us a question. I love that so much. Shy, that explains why I can't get anything done. Burnt out and zap, says Aaron. Lonely, yep, there's Fran, lonely. Yeah, with all of that, make sure that you're taking that nurturing time that I talk about, you guys, Aaron and Fran. Just take some time to nurture yourself and just giving yourself some cleansing energy. Sometimes, we just need to cleanse. It can be like I need a spiritual shower, right? To be able to, do whatever resonates with you. Jules, Lana, my kitty Salem hasn't come home for 2 nights so far. Just wanted to know if he's okay. I do feel that the cat is okay. I would probably put out though, the cat's litter box or something of the cat that is a personal item. I do feel that Salem's going to come home. I just feel like I'm out for a frolic or a rendezvous and having a good time. And I don't have a panic or a worry feeling yet, but I do feel like it's time to come home. So, and I'll do a call home energetically as well. Whenever I'm working with missing animals, I do an energetic call home so they can feel the vibration of their home and navigate their way back. And you can do that as well. Just emit a signal that I'm calling you home energetically, and just put out that signal. It's profound how often that works. I don't feel alone, says Shy. Rather like no one listens to me. And Shy, with we can't force people to listen. We can only stand in our truth, but take some time this week and just listen to yourself. Just review where you are. Diane, good morning, Lana. Can you tell me if my husband's kidneys are going to heal? So Diane, I do feel some healing there, but I feel like it's a bit of a slower process. So I just feel like I've got to take my time with it. But I do feel how it comes back to me is I feel a bit of a bounce back. I feel like I'm bouncing back. So has there been even any slight signs of healing, any improvement with blood work or improvement with how he's feeling? Because I do feel some improvement coming that way to his kidneys. Sonia, I never asked anything here. Having a serious issue with mine and my daughter's relationship. I'm worried about her and what I may be doing to her. So, Sonia, I felt that heavy. I did feel that heavy kind of feeling. I do feel again, always do what's best for you. This is only advice. You don't have to pick it up. I feel like I've got to come into a little bit of supporting from a different perspective. I feel a very strong personality with your daughter. I feel like resistance is something that's not new for her, and it can serve her very well. It's not an energy that that isn't good for her. It's just an energy that she needs to kind of tap into a little bit more. So I feel like I have to pull back just a little bit with I'm going to support and guide you from here. I feel like that any kind of force right now or any kind of insisting energy you can suggest, but just kind of shift how you're speaking it, shift the energy that you're attaching to it, just kind of shift. I also feel that your daughter is extremely bright, and I feel like she is just pushing against trying to navigate my own way. And it comes into spirit said, look down at your sheet. It's that combativeness within herself energy, right? She's fighting herself. She's just fighting herself. So I feel like I've got to just kind of say, you know what, I love you so much. I'm here if you need me. I'm going to support and guide, but I'm going to take a very different perspective on it. Sometimes, and I get it. Nobody wants to see their kids, to trip in life or have to pick themselves back up. But there's great lessons in that. I can support you from here, and I'm just going to kind of navigate and help you with that. I also feel like I need to ask her what it is that she needs. And sometimes we have to ask that to people. What do you need from me? What do you need? And I 'cause I feel like it's a bit of a guessing game sometimes here. So I feel like, and this can goes for all of us, whether it's, family or friends or even a neighbor. What is it that you need? What is it that I'm missing here? Because and then open-minded, open heart listening is kind of the space where we just need to go. Sometimes we just need to listen, but we also need to ask, what's their perspective? Because sometimes we need to change our lenses with people too. They may be seeing things a completely different way, and once we sit with it and kind of like, okay, I can see that. I can see that perspective. I do feel that there's a lot of room for repair here. I don't feel like this is a relationship that's, that repair isn't, or healing. There's a lot of room. I feel like there's a lot of room there for that. I feel like she's open to it. I feel like I just have to kind of take a little bit of TLC and, just like I said, asking some of those questions. What do you need? And if you ever watch somebody, if you're having a moment with somebody, or some tension with somebody, and you simply ask them, "What do you need?" Watch how they shift. How can I help you? What just kind of watch how they shift, because then it becomes like an offering. This is a really good topic. It becomes like an offering rather than an insistent I'm in your face or in your business. See how it does, it feels different, right? Good to see all you coming in there. Hi there, Brian. The brightest good mornings to everyone. Hope you have a great start to the week. Thank you, Rachel. Dee Dee was feeling very zapped this weekend. Yeah, big zapped energy, eh? Matriarch Hylana, I would like to have any messages today from my spirit team, please. I also have a new foster kitten, which I'm thinking about keeping. I like to know his energy with mine and how he feels. I feel in a very loving way this kitten has a huge sense of humor, but it may not always match yours. There's a very separate humor bone, a funny bone between the two of you. But I do feel, and I think this one's a big choice. I do feel you have the choice to keep this cat. I don't feel I feel good with you keeping the cat, and I also feel good if you decide that not to, because I feel this cat will go to a great home. I feel like this cat has a very interesting, funny kind of supportive journey. I also feel, matriarch, that I need to get you to just practice a little bit of channeling from your spirit guides. What do I need to know this week? And I need to, because they literally just put the pen in your hand when I was going to tap into, what does your spirit team need? I'm getting, or want you to hear. I just got that push. It's, just kind of sit and see what you feel this week. Um, well, I love the support here. Fran, good grief, Lana. I think I've started this energy update early this weekend. Yeah, well, yeah, absolutely. Energy, what I can come in. I mean, it can come in any time, but the week technically starts on Sunday. You can pick up on things a little bit earlier. And we're also kind of leaning into a little bit of residue from that big super moon that we had. It came in with a force of energy. I'm feeling totally exhausted and feeling lots of anxiety in my solar plexus. There you go, Joe. So Joe Smith, that's exactly, you just described exactly what I channeled. So, again, Joe, go back and have a re-listen to the live. Go back and kind of try doing a little bit of cleansing, a little bit of less combativeness with yourself, a little bit of recharge, a little bit of retreating, giving yourself that space. And I felt so. I had an incredible group event at Sugar Daddy's on Friday night. It was incredible, and it was for the first time in a very long time after a big event like that. I well, it was one of my bigger events. It was a fair size event. But anyway, it was the first time I had really felt that zapped energy. I called Kim and I was like, Kim, I really feel drained after this one. And Spirit had changed how I was working. Spirit changed my channeling on Friday, and it was my jaw was dropped on how exhausted I was and how profound they were. But I had to spend, now that I'm thinking about it, Fran, I felt that zap on after that event, and I needed to recharge over the weekend. That's exactly what I did. Was I just went with it, went inward. What do I need to kind of recharge? And then I still feel it this morning, but it's from the channeling, that heavy emotion, or the zapped intensity. But yeah, Fran, you're right. When I kind of reflect back, it did kind of creep in over the weekend. I've also been extremely grumpy. Ooh, grump. When we got a grump, when we have a grump within us, that energy is trying to tell us something. So tapping into, with honoring how you're feeling. This has got me kind of grumpy, and shifting and balancing a little bit with this. I'm just going to breathe. I got a lot to be grateful for. Tapping in and finding out what the root of the grump is, Joe. Shy over here. Things have decided to go into complete different direction than any of us expected here. Can spirit help me understand why? I'd like to know what direction I should go in. So, Shy, I need you to sit with that. I feel like your spirituality has really grown, and I feel like you need to kind of sit into that and feel your own direction. And I feel like you're so ready to do that. I feel the reason why is number one, there's been an awful lot of offered up healing. I feel like you've taken that healing. I feel like you've done the work. I feel like you've done all that. And it's like next step. And next step for you in your own spiritual growth is to kind of sit with your guides and feel in the direction. I'm being pushed into that within spot there with you, Shai. Sonia, I'm nodding like you're talking to me. Thank you. You're very welcome. All right. Hi, Wes. Just stopped in the forest to join you. I love that for you, Wes. Well done. There seems to be stuff coming up for you. I'd say allow it and be there, even if you don't know why. So, Shy, that's advice for you too. Your own advice, Sonia. Yes, yes, yes. She had that energy support and guide her. Got it. Shift energy. Thank you. You're very welcome. You're very welcome. He's got stage 4 kidney failure due to diabetes. To find out today if they have improved or not. I feel like they have a little. I feel like there's a little bit of healing there. I do. I also feel like there's something there, Diane, that either he's shifted with like with his own medical, or there's some kind of medication or something new that's had a little bit of help there. And I'll send some more healing that way. Also, just have to say you look very good in that color. Thank you very much. I do love blue. I love blue. Vic, any messages from me or my guides? Any chance you can tell me some of their names? How do I close negative portals around me? Okay, so Vic, I'm going to start with the negative portals around you. It's very easy. It's just simple, and you got to tap in with your belief system as well. No negative portals are open for me. That simple. I'm not open to negative portals. I'm not into negative portals. I'm not worried about negative portals. I'm only having love and light surround me. It's that easy. But the difficult part is making sure that your thoughts are in alignment with that and your heart is in alignment with that. I've said this many times. I've been doing this for many years, and I don't worry about any dark. I don't worry about any negative because I only work in the positive. I only work in that love and light energy. I'm not willing and I'm not open to accept or believe anything else, and it's always served me. So Vic, I need to tap into that. I would have to sit a little bit longer to do channeling of names, but what I feel though around you right now, I'll see what I can get. Okay, what I feel around you right now is I feel you've got two guides because I can see them one on each side of you. Now remember, guides do change as our journey changes, right? They come and go. So what I feel there with one on each side of you, one feels really new. I feel like I feel right around 10 months. So that this right around there, 9, 10 months is when that guide comes in. And I feel like that guide came in with a lot of fresh air, a lot of new beginnings, a lot of putting it down, and a lot of healing energy, a lot of a lot of support with that. The other guy that's been here for I feel probably right around quite a while, like 7, 8 years, and I feel that is like your go-to person when you okay, this I'm going to describe it. When you feel like you've got nowhere to turn to as far as people understanding, this guide seems to be that I understand. I feel that I understand how you're feeling, but I feel like you're closed. I feel like you don't share it verbally. I feel like you don't talk about it enough, and I can feel my good listener ear kicking in, and I feel like I just got to say I'm here to listen and support, but I've got to kind of like free fall and trust it. I've got to kind of like free fall and trust it. What the other and I'm hearing the name. Well, just give me a second with it. I've heard the first two letters. I got the AN. Alina. And so Alina's been with you for that extended period of time. I'm not hearing the name of the new guide yet. It can take me a bit of time, but you can also sit and just simply say, we don't need to know our spirit guides' names. But we can simply say, can you help me with that? I will often look up and I'll say, okay, if anybody has any expertise or advice on the situation, I'm open to hear it. Or can you help me with this? Okay. Rachel. Diane, thoughts are with you. Hope you get good news in the healthy vibes sent to your husband. Oh, this group warms my heart so much. I use that with my daughters when the communication is not great. It's usually nothing to do with me, but I get the brunt of it. When I ask softly, Softly ask, they generally open up, yeah. And, when we change our vibe, Fran, and how beautiful of you to reach out and share that with Sonia. When we change our vibe, sometimes we just simply need to ask, "What do you need? How can I help you?" Or, "I'm simply here if you wanna lean," right? So, especially and I get it, just think about that younger version of you and even the current version of you. Sometimes we don't really are not open for someone to come in and support, without, either an invitation or an offering. I'm here if you need me. Just kind of soften that, and we journey beside people anyway. It's a good lane to be in, is right beside them. We can all journey together this way, but we've got to kind of, do it from our own lane. Okay. You know what, you guys, I know I say this every single time, but it's just so beautiful, the support here for all of you, for each other. I just love it so much. I really feel my hands tingle when they come close to my crystals. Wes, you're picking up on the energy of them, and I love that so much. You're tapping into the energy. Well done opening up to that. This happens to me too. Every time I try to do some spiritual practice, I feel drained afterwards. Am I doing it wrong? Okay, I missed another. Was there another comment about that? Because it says it happens to you too. So I'll just answer that rather than scroll back up. So when we tap into doing some spiritual practice, it is quite normal to feel drained. So when we feel drained, we've got to recharge. So spiritual practices do take an energy, and quite often when we're doing spiritual practices, we're healing something. Even if you're not quite sure what you're healing, we're healing something. We're also plugging in spiritually to an energy that's higher than the physical world. So yeah, so when we pick up on that, when we kind of ride that, our physical body isn't quite used to it. So it's the same thing with channeling. Or any of my students, they'll take a workshop with me, and any of my students can chime in. So our time together on Zoom is usually about 2 hours. And at the end of that 2 hours, my students will often be so tired because they're, especially in the early stages of learning, or if they're changing or stepping up higher into their spiritual practices, they're not used to working at that energy. So as you build up, look at it as a muscle. As you build up that muscle, it becomes less draining and less tiring. I can channel for hours and hours and hours. If spirit changes how we're working, I need to take time to recover, or I feel it a lot more. When I first started doing platform mediumship, so let's go back about over 15 years ago, I literally, after doing a platform or a group, a big group, I literally couldn't even drive myself home. I felt like I was intoxicated. I was so tired. I wasn't used to working with that energy. And it took me a long time to be able to drive myself home after an event. I used to have a driver. So anyway, fast forward into today. Today, I've got that stamina where I'm great after an event. Sometimes a little bit disorientated. I was a little bit disorientated on Friday night, and it took me a bit longer to recover. But my stamina with spirit has been, working with energy, has grown. So I do have more stamina now, but it takes some time to build that. So, and sometimes we do need to rest and recover when we're working with spirit, or working with on growing our spiritual practices, is because we're using a higher vibration or a higher energy than the physical world. The spirit dimensions vibe extremely high. It's an extremely high vibe. It's like off the charts. And that's why some of us, our hands will shake when we channel. Mine usually change colors. They'll go bleach white or blue. Some people get a headache after channeling because they're learning how to build up that stamina. The great questions, you guys. I love that so much. Uh, like like the live. Thank you, Matriarch. Bless your heart for your support. I channel too and get super drained afterwards. I've started putting up boundaries with spirit that they can't take energy from me. You could try that. I also plug in, so I literally have an extension cord that visually I don't literally plug. Well, I do literally plug it in, but not into an outlet. I plug it into the spirit dimensions. That when I'm channeling, especially people who pass, I don't use my energy as much. But there is still some energy that you do use, and it does come come from being in the physical world, and it depends how you channel. Everybody channels in their own unique way. If I'm more over into the spirit dimensions and less in the physical world while I'm channeling, I don't feel so drained. If I'm here and I'm pulling it in, or they're coming here, then I feel it. On Friday, and if anybody's here that saw me work on Friday, I had so much physical mediumship like I've never experienced before. I was walking like people who have passed. I was holding my body in different ways. I was almost, it was so weird. Parts of it were weird, but it was a different energy, and I wasn't necessarily prepared to work that way because I didn't know we were going to work that way. So my physical body felt the channeling very differently. So it was literally like a good night's sleep, lots of water, and out in the forest, outside Saturday, Sunday, and today I'm probably like 200%. That's how good I feel today. But it does. We do learn, and we are exploring, and especially with when you don't have as much control or you don't want to control spirit. I simply show up and say, okay, how are we working today? I don't try and control it, because when you try and control it, it can be very draining as well. If you try and and control spirit or control how you're connecting, it takes more energy. So there's a couple different layers. I should do a video on that. Yes. All right. Haha, as you say that, Lana, my spirit guide says, don't become lazy with us putting on a silly face. Yeah, don't get spiritually lazy. It's work. Don't get spiritually lazy. And it's so easy to lean back into old patterns too, right? My spirit guides phone named me this morning and tell me to get out of bed. Oh, I love that so much, you guys. Okay, let me scroll right here. Mystica. Hi, my first time here. Welcome. We hope you feel welcome here. I've been feeling that I have changes to make in my life, and I sometimes struggle with overthinking. Am I being too resistant to change? Are my guides with me in this? So our spirit guides are always with us, whether we lean in or not. They come with us, and we have the choice and free will on whether or not we want to ask them for help or how much help we're willing to tap in there. Change is hard, and you know what? I think every single one of us will put up our hand. Right? Change is hard for me sometimes. Am I better at going with the flow? Yeah. Do I sometimes go kicking and screaming? Well, in the past I did, not so much anymore. Now I'm really good with it. Bring it on. If it's going to change, bring it on. I want to learn and I want to grow. But change is quite often means we have to put something down or step back from something. And with us humans, that's what we struggle with the most. We struggle with stepping back or letting go or moving forward. I like to release every day, and I like to heal in the now. So that will help you, Mystica, is kind of working in. I'm going to heal that now. I'm going to let go of that now. Daily practices of letting go. I'm simply going to let this go. I'm a big ritual person. I love to go out and do things, so that may help you. And you're kind of navigating it with your own way. And I love that you're asking about your spirit guides. Ask them to help. Come with me, guys, while I navigate through this change. Come with me while I figure this out. I'm learning, and just kind of watch that self-talk. I'm learning. So with the overthinking, I want you to just kind of like start talking to yourself, because I think the overthinking is you afraid of making a mistake, right? So we're so afraid of making that mistake. And I feel like I just have to say, I'm learning right now. I'm learning right now. I'm learning right now. I'm going to try that. I'm learning right now. You see how different that feels? And again, thank you very much for posting your question here. We got some new people on the live, and I love that so much. All right. Kayla, does my grandfather on my father's side have any messages for me? My parents divorced when I was young, so I didn't get to know him, but I remember him being so kind to us and my mother. Kayla, so what's really interesting here with your grandfather is I feel like you already do know him. So do you like either think about him a lot or tap into his energy or kind of ask him what he thinks? Because I feel like he's been connecting with you for a while. I don't feel like it's like I don't feel like a stranger energy there around. I also feel like I have to say, even though your parents divorced, I feel like there's a lot of healing with them and a lot of healing with you. Like I feel like that's all in the past. I feel like there's a lot of healing. I feel it doesn't feel heavy or or foggy for me as far as that goes. I also feel, Kayla, that there's been a lot of ancestral healing. I feel like there's been a lot of changes. I feel like there's been a lot of growth on how things used to be done, back in the day versus now. And I feel like they've been cheering for you extremely loud, not just your grandfather on your father's side, but I feel like all your ancestors are like, yeah, keep it up, keep up the changes, keep up the growth, keep up supporting each other. And I feel like there is a lot of support there, if that makes sense. Okay, here we go. Thank you so much, says Mystica. Yes, I feel very welcomed. I came after seeing you in Haley's channel. Thank you. Haley and I have a couple more videos that we have recorded. I'm not quite sure when she's going to post them, but they will be coming. And we've got a few more things planned and in the books. But it probably won't be until after I get back from Mexico, because I'm going to Day of the Dead and I'm leaving October 30th. I can't wait. It's going to be so excited. I can't wait. All right, you guys, I've got to get moving here. I have to work. I'm working today. All right. Nalina, does anyone else find this October particularly hard? For me, for some reason, it's a hard month this time. October's been a lot of healing energy and it's been a lot of shifting energy. I also feel like quite often, the closer we get to the end of the year, a lot of things come up for people. It's like, let's work through this now. Let's work through this now. I feel like a lot of that. So whatever's coming up for you, that you're pushing through in October, it's kind of like trying to get you in a cleared space for new beginnings, for the new year, for wrapping things up. October, November, and then December can feel like a wrap up, or a let's work on this now. That can kind of be the energy that comes through quite a bit. Um, and thank you for posting that question. Thank you for the answer. By the way, Lana, it was a beautiful explanation. Makes so much sense. You're very welcome. Um, Jules, Lana, I'm curious about what your thoughts are on ringing in the ears. It's very common. It's ringing in the ears, and again, if you think it's medical, please see your doctor. But ringing in the ears is a very, very common one where spirit is trying to connect. So we are listening. So yes, even though we're listening in the non-physical, we're still developing our non-physical. So our spiritual ears are connect to our physical ears. So there is that buzzing, there is that ringing. It is to get our attention. And quite often, so many of my students will complain about if the ear buzzing, the ear buzzing. It's the connection between the two worlds. Physical world and spirit dimensions are in a different vibe, and they sound and feel very differently. Which is why many mediums, especially when you're developing, it can be a struggle to hear or to see or to feel, because it's very different. We use our superpowers, our connections is very different, right? When we're looking, when we see into the spirit dimensions or listen into the spirit dimensions, we've developed, our spiritual sight. We develop our spiritual hearing, we develop our spiritual senses, and it does have an impact on our body because we're adjusting to it. Great questions. You guys are asking some great things today. Thumbs up if you're enjoying hanging out with us this morning, by the way, you guys. I appreciate it. Is the ear ringing sign? Yeah, so essentially, yeah, it's your spiritual senses developing. So, and when you think about it, when we're first learning to hear spirit, we're not used to always being plugged in, or to making time to be plugged in, or it can be the sign that we're connecting to them too, right? So quite often when I'm working with my mentoring students, they will, as we're learning, in the moment, they'll be like, "Oh, my ears ringing." They're learning. You're learning to adjust to hearing spirit. So it's very different, which is why mediumship communication is very different. They don't communicate as clearly as we do here because it's different senses. It's a whole different vibration. It's a whole different energy. You're very welcome. Oh, okay, good. I always think about him, says Kayla, since he's in the spirit dimension. I know I can tap in his energy. Thank you, Lena. You're very welcome. I've noticed ringing in my left ear a lot lately. So when you get the ear ringing, one thing that you can do is you can say, okay, I hear you. I hear you trying to connect with me. Get yourself kind of grounded, get yourself a little bit more open, because what happens is we can be too much physical and not tapping into the spiritual. So when you hear that, say, okay, I hear you. Grab a pen and paper, What do I need to hear? What do I need to know? What are you trying to tell me? And just kind of allow it. Try not to overthink it because that's what we do. We go here. What if I'm making this up? Just trust it. It's, just trust it. So that is like when the other thing that helps with that, let me backtrack. Sorry, I'm tripping on my words. When we make time in our day, okay, I'm going to sit with spirit. I'm going to try to come up with a relative consistent schedule. I'm going to sit. What do I need to hear today? The ear ringing will become less and less and less. Okay, I gotta go, you guys. Each Firefly. I don't know if I've ever read the Firefly one. Huh. Oh, wait for it. You're burning the candle at both ends in order to meet your goals, yet in spite of this, you're not being creative and as productive as you'd like. So that would be our zapped, burnt out energy. I don't say I don't want to. Every single event that I do, I still have my wow. Every single time something resonates, I still have my wow. I love that so much. You've done the necessary preparation for the desired outcome, so you can now enjoy the manifestation of that vision. Pay close attention to your own natural biorhythms and coordinate your activities with the even flow of your energy. That's the whole goal within. You're awakening to your spiritual gifts and feeling called to offer your light to your family members, friends, and community. We just talked about connecting. This is bang on today, eh? You're now following the truth of your soul's path. Yet it's important to be alert to any tendencies to get distracted by old habits and patterns or other agendas for you. Be more efficient with your efforts so you don't expend any more energy than you need to in order to get the work done. Wow. I love that so much. So be more efficient with your efforts so you don't expend any more energy than you need to in order to get the work done. That's all the spiritual practices that we just talked about. All of that energy work that we just talked about, and how much energy it takes, and all of that. Holy smokes, right? It's just so incredible. It's just so incredible. All right, here we go. Look at you guys. Oh boy, spirit was like, listen to us. Yeah. Yeah. It's the listening. It's the tuning in, tapping in. And before I let you go, just kind of, we all have our own dial. So I just want to kind of touch base on this. We all have our own dial as to where we pick up on the frequencies in the spirit dimensions. So you're often kind of figuring out where your dial is, and it changes. So don't get too used to tapping in or working in the same way all the time. Think of it as a dial. What station are they on? Right? What station are they on? Where am I finding them today? Just kind of take that kind of approach to it. It will help immensely. Yeah, it's not the first time in a while it makes your jaw drop. Yeah. Fran, if you're still here, Fran, are you still on the live? Fran, if you're still on the live, all because Fran was at my event Friday night, so if I'm gonna call her out on it. Was I not shocked as to how spirit worked, Fran? If she's still here, we'll get her to answer it. I literally stopped reading at one point. I literally stopped and like jaw dropped, looked up, and just I had some words. I was like, "Holy crap! You can't even like you can't." It was like profound, jaw dropping, and it simply where my dial got tuned in. That's exactly where it went, was where my dial got tuned in. It's profound, and the more you trust, the more you get. The more magic it becomes, the more tuned in you get. Let's do a number for the day, and then I gotta go. We'll see if I don't know if Fran's still here or not, but if not, we'll see what she says on Friday if she pops in. But I was stunned. I literally stopped in the middle of the event. It was insane. All right. 370. You're working in perfect partnership with Source Energy and the Ascended Masters. Continue to listen and follow your inner guidance, as this is the best path for you to take. Again, with coming in, go in, you guys. There is so much validation in what we talked about earlier on in this in the live. It's gonna be a profound week. Take that zapped energy, recharge your physical body, your energetic body, cleanse, connect, and breathe, retreat if you need to. All right, you guys. I wish I was at the event, said Kayla. It was incredible. Kayla, I am hoping to come your way, hopefully in the spring. 'Cause I do feel I will be doing a little bit of channel or a little bit of travel and a little bit of a tour next year. So it'll be awesome. I'd love to get the chance one day to see you at your events. Must be magical. It's so much fun. I think of all the things I think I do, I don't know if I can really say that because I love it all, but there is just something very magical with the platform mediumship. It's so profound. As always, I'm wishing you love, light, blessings, and have a spirit guided week. I will see you Friday. We'll do a little bit more of an energy update, and then we'll go to Ask the Mediums. Much or Ask the Medium. As always,